Hello everyone, Hunter here. Just wanted to make a quick video where I explain each of the mnemonics that I'll be using in the next version of the Deal Me Debakey deck. Something that I thought would be useful for this version of the deck is to chunk a lot of the information by table/graph per drug type so that people don't have to free recall every drug on its own with all of the flashcards because there are quite a lot at this point. Here I talk about 8 antiemetic drugs that we have to know for FBSM. For our Semester 1 final. In this video, I'm going to be talking about each of the things that they block to prevent emesis in terms of receptors, and then I'm going to explain a bunch of dumb mnemonics that I came up with for each of them. So here you can see the 8 drugs we have to know off of the FBSM drug list PDF. It might seem a bit daunting at first and kind of hard to motivate, but I kind of spent the morning before my anatomy lab session just really thinking about ways where we can associate what responds to what. So first let's talk about Ondansetron, which is a serotonin 3 receptor blocker, or 5-HT3 receptor blocker. And the phrase that I think is useful for remembering this is ontron seroton, or you could also use ondan seroton. So the ons and the tons, i.e. Ondansetron paired with serotonin, specifically the serotonin 3 blocker. I'm not sure how specific they want us to know these receptors, but if you want to know the numbering associated with them, that's going to be on here, but the mnemonic is just more so just to relate the drug name with the ligand specifically. So next we have scopolamine. Now scopolamine blocks the muscarinic receptors, i.e. it blocks acetylcholine from entering those receptors. So the way I think of this one is I think of the phrase scopo-acetyl-co. So with ondansetron, it's ontron seroton for serotonin, and for scopolamine, it's scopo-acetyl-co for acetylcholine. Next, we have Aprepitant, which I think as Aprepitant because it blocks substance P, i.e. a neurokinin. So Aprepitant for substance P, it blocks that. Next, we have Naloxone. Now, with this drug, I actually think of the fact that there's this OXO pattern, which we don't have in any of the other drugs in this drug deck. So I think of the OXO, the double O, and relate it to opioid, so particularly opioid overdose for the 2 O's, also 2 O's in opioid. That's probably the best way to think of this one. Next is Dronabinol, emphasis on the bin, because it binds to cannabinoids. This is the only drug that we have in this drug deck that has a bin in the middle, so Dronabinol binds to cannabinoids, specifically cannabinoid 1 receptor. Next we have Diphenhydramine. This is an antihistamine, and I think it's one that sadly you should probably just commit to memory because it's probably the most common over-the-counter antihistamine used in like the United States, if not the world. You know, Benadryl, NyQuil, ZZ-Quil, they all use diphenhydramine. It's very standard as a first-gen antihistamine on the histamine 1 receptor. So this is one you should just probably commit to memory if you don't know it already. Very prominent in the US and the world. Now let's talk about a less common antihistamine. So Promethazine is another histamine 1 receptor blocker. And the way I think of this is the sentence, he's pro-meth, i.e. histamine is paired with promethazine. Now, you might be wondering, who is he? Who is pro-meth? You can think of me if you want. You can say Hunter's pro-meth, he's pro-meth. I'm not really pro-meth, but it's really just a contest of, what can you remember for the exam? So if you just remember, Hunter's pro-meth, then that'll get you through this because you're like, oh yeah, he's pro-meth. And yeah. Lastly, we have Prochlorperazine, which is a dopamine 2 receptor blocker. And this is perhaps the dumbest mnemonic I came up with for this one. I think of Clorp-Dorp. Clorp-Dorp, this is the only drug with the clorp in it within the word of the drug. So I think of Clorp-Dorp as in Prochlorperazine for dopamine. Dorp is dopamine. And yeah, so this is the list of dumb mnemonics I came up with. Hopefully y'all like them and find them useful. Once more, I guess, framed this in the style as the Dirty Medicine YouTube channel of we're just trying to reach some goal of all of this silliness that we just have to memorize and pack into our brains. So if we can just get through it for the short term with silly ways of remembering all of this, then, we're all going to be better off. We're all going to be blazing through the FBSM final. So good luck to y'all, and let me know if you find these helpful, and good luck on the exam.